Imagine this. You are standing inside a massive stadium. Around you, nearly 50,000 people are shouting. The crowd is roaring so loudly that you can barely hear your own thoughts. Across from your stands, another trained fighter. Both of you know that in the next few minutes, someone could be seriously injured or even die. This is ancient Rome, and you are a gladiator. Now, if I ask you what a gladiator ate before stepping into battle, what would you guess? Most people would probably say meat. Lots of meat. After all, these were some of the toughest fighters in the ancient world. Surely they must have eaten huge portions of meat every day, right? Well, history tells a very different story. In fact, many Roman gladiators survived mostly on barley, beans, lentils, and simple vegetables. No fancy protein shakes, no chicken breasts, no bodybuilding diet, just humble foods that many ordinary people could afford. And surprisingly, modern archaeology suggests this wasn't because they were poor, it was intentional. The diet was designed to help them perform inside the arena. Today, we are going back nearly 2000 years to discover what Roman gladiators really ate, why they were called barley men, and whether their diet has any lessons for us today. Before we talk about food, let's understand who gladiators really were. Movies often show gladiators as fearless heroes. The reality was much harsher. Many gladiators were prisoners of war, others were criminals, some were slaves, and a few were desperate men drowning in debt who saw gladiatorial combat as their last chance at survival. They lived inside training schools called ludi. Think of them as a combination of prison, military camp, and sports academy. Every part of their life was controlled. When they woke up, how they trained, what they ate, even when they slept. A gladiator was valuable property. Training one took time and money. So owners wanted fighters who could survive, recover, and fight again. And that's where the diet becomes interesting. Recent archaeological studies have examined the remains of gladiators buried in the ancient city of Ephesus. Researchers found evidence suggesting that many gladiators followed a diet based heavily on plants: barley, beans, lentils, simple grains, simple legumes. Foods that are surprisingly familiar to many Indian households even today. Think about it. Dal and grains have been staples across India for centuries. And in ancient Rome, gladiators were eating something very similar. In fact, they became so closely associated with barley that people gave them a nickname, Hordeari, which roughly translates to the barley men. Not exactly the intimidating nickname you would expect for arena fighters, but there was a reason behind it. One of the most famous doctors of the Roman Empire was a physician named Galen. What's interesting is that Galen actually treated gladiators. He saw their injuries, he monitored their recovery, and he observed what they ate. According to Galen, the heavy consumption of beans made gladiators more fleshy. At first, this sounds strange. Wouldn't a fighter want to be lean and muscular? Today, we admire athletes with six pack abs and very low body fat. But gladiators weren't competing in bodybuilding contests. They were performing in violent public spectacles. An extra layer of body fat actually offered some protection. When a sword or a weapon caused a surface wound, there could be a dramatic bleeding. The crowd loved the spectacle, but the fat layer helped reduce the risk of immediately damaging vital organs. In other words, being slightly padded was an advantage. It made the fight look more dramatic while increasing the chances of survival. So, what might a typical gladiator meal have looked like? Picture a large pot simmering over a fire. Inside are barley, fava beans, onion, garlic, olive oil, and a little vinegar. Nothing fancy, no expensive ingredients, no royal feasts, just a thick, filling porridge. The kind of meal that provides energy for long hours of training. If you have ever eaten khichdi, dalia or a simple bowl of dal and grains, you can imagine the texture. Not identical, but surprisingly similar in spirit. Simple, nutritious, affordable, and probably quite boring after eating it every day. But gladiators weren't eating for pleasure, they were eating for survival. The training itself was brutal. They practiced for hours with wooden weapons. Interestingly, these training weapons were often heavier than the real ones used in combat. The idea was simple: if you could master a heavier weapon, the real one would feel lighter and easier to handle. Every strike, every block, every movement, repeated again and again. The arena rewarded skill just as much as strength. Because, unlike what movies suggest, most owners didn't want their gladiators dying every week. A trained fighter was expensive. The goal was entertainment, not waste. And yet, despite all the precautions, life expectancy remained frighteningly low. Many gladiators died before reaching the age of 30. Every appearance inside the arena carried risk. Imagine knowing that your next performance could be your last. Yet, thousands still entered the profession. Some because they had no choice, others because fame and fortune were possible. The most successful gladiators became celebrities. People bought souvenirs featuring them. Children collected miniature figures of famous fighters. Crowds had favorites. Some women even paid enormous sums to spend time with celebrated gladiators. In many ways, they were the sports stars of ancient Rome. So, what can we learn from all this? Not that we should start eating exactly like gladiators. Their lives were short and incredibly dangerous, but their diet challenges a modern assumption. Many people believe strength requires huge amount of meat, yet some of the most physically active people in the ancient world relied heavily on grains and legumes, foods like barley, beans and lentils. Interestingly, these same foods still appear in many traditional diets associated with good health today. Perhaps there is a lesson there. Sometimes the simplest foods survive for centuries because they work, and sometimes history has more to teach us than we realize. The next time you sit down to eat a bowl of dal and rice, remember this. 2000 years ago, some of Rome's toughest warriors were eating meals built on the same basic idea: simple food, real food, food that fueled legends. And perhaps that's the most surprising lesson from history. The foods that helped feed ancient warriors weren't exotic superfoods or secret supplements. They were everyday staples that ordinary people could afford. But now I am curious about something. If you had to eat the same meal every day like a Roman gladiator, barley, beans, onions, and garlic, how long would you think you could last before getting bored? Let me know in the comments. In our next journey through the history of longevity, we'll explore another fascinating question from the past. Why do some communities around the world consistently live longer than the rest of us? Until then, thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes the future of health is hidden in the lessons of history.